Hi there, Jen here. It's a real pleasure to be doing this week's Bible in a year reflection. We're currently at the end of the book of 1 Samuel and in the Psalms and about to start 2 Samuel. Hope you're really enjoying it. I certainly am. One of the things that I like most about this part of the Old Testament in particular is the amount of details that were given about the different characters that we meet. God's story is told to us through the lives of ordinary people. Sometimes they make good decisions, sometimes they make poor decisions. And one of my favourites is the example of David. Sometimes we see him at his best, making great decisions and going for God and really connecting with him. And in other parts, we see him making huge mistakes. In many ways, he's the kind of the archetypal, ordinary guy, just chosen by God. 1 Samuel 26 this week, we've seen a particular example of that, and one that I just love. David has pursued Saul to where he's pursued him. So Saul has been following David, trying to kill him, but David finds out where Saul is, and he goes up into his cave with his servant, and he finds the whole camp asleep. So David has this opportunity to kill Saul, and his servant encourages him, he urges him, you should kill him now, you should take this opportunity. But in verses 9 and 10 of chapter 26, David says to his servant something really interesting. He says, who can raise his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? As the Lord lives, the Lord will strike him down, or his day will come to die. And although this phrase, as the Lord lives, is a common oath that appears throughout the Old Testament, really, it's not really particular to this passage. It really struck me on this occasion when I read it. David makes his decision not to kill Saul, not out of a specific insight that he has from God on whether to do it or not, but out of a basic fundamental understanding of who he knows God to be. He knows God to be faithful. He knows God to be true to his promises. And he knows that as God lives, that this situation can be left in his hands and he doesn't need to act in this particular instance. And I think often when I pray, I assume that I haven't had an answer unless I get some kind of specific insight from God over whether to move or whether to do something or where to go. And I'm challenged here that maybe God is reminding me that knowing who he is, knowing that he's faithful, knowing that he's true, that he's alive and working in the world is often all that I maybe need to know in order to make a good decision in certain situations. These are my reflections from this week. These are my thoughts. It'd be great to hear what you're thinking, what you've reflected on your reading from this week. You can either email them into the office or write them in the comments below. Keep reading, keep going. We're just about to get to some really good stories in 2 Samuel. So hope to hear your reflections. There is a